like anime? Not any specific anime, just the entire concept of anime. Do you like being able to understand anime without having to learn Japanese? Do you like well-crafted subtitles that make it clear what you're reading? If you answered yes to any of those questions, the people in charge of Crunchyroll hate you and want you dead. Crunchyroll has decided to ruin their subtitles which currently are basically the best in the biz. What should be their primary selling point has gotten in the way of the company making as much money as possible. So they're going to make your experience worse and charge you for the pleasure. The following video is based on the article "Crunchyroll is Destroying Its Subtitles for No Good Reason" by Dies. It's a fantastic article. Definitely check it out in the description below for more info and links on how to help. It gets way more into the weeds on the interesting technical details of subtitling than I'm going to here, mainly because I'm worried about messing something up in the paraphrasing. I'm making this to help spread the word so we can work together to get Crunchyroll to stop this change before it's too late. If you care about anime at all, I hope you'll join me. Chapter 1. What's the problem? Crunchyroll has some of the best subtitles in the anime distribution industry currently. Unlike Amazon and Netflix, their major competitors in the space, Crunchyroll's subtitles have the ability to keep pace with dialogue while also presenting translations of on-screen text that are not only separate from the dialogue text, but also placed and color-coded to make it clear what they're translations of. Now you might be thinking that that's the obvious way to translate anime, and you would be right, but also very disappointed in what Crunchyroll is changing it to. In a genre fond of putting text on screen, simplified to signs in the subbing community, Crunchyroll is taking the bold step of turning their subtitles into unreadable nonsense anytime a sign appears. The problem is honestly pretty self-evident. As soon as you see any scene with text on screen, the new subtitles just go to hell in a handbasket. Like, Crunchyroll has occasionally had bad subtitles in the past, thanks to third-party subtitles provided by the licensor, but we're talking about first-party subtitles from Crunchyroll itself. This is going to affect a wider range of anime than has ever been affected before. And if you think you can avoid this through black flag tactics, think again! Most of your favorite piracy sites just use Crunchyroll subs. The days of the dedicated fan subbers are largely over, usurped by the perfectly acceptable subs that come straight from the source. When those are gone, what will you be left with? Crunchyroll is destroying their market advantage, something they hold over every other service in the industry, except for HiDive, which you likely didn't even know existed. They're making anime as a whole a worse experience and dragging everyone down with them. Which leaves one question. Why? Chapter 2. Why the fuck would they do this? Well, it turns out that market advantage is exactly why. The fact that no other service has even bothered to match it ends up being a problem when Crunchyroll goes to sublicense their anime to those other services. Either the other service has to change their subtitle standards to allow for more advanced typesetting, which their chosen subtitle format TTML is already capable of, or Crunchyroll will have to mangle their subtitles to fit them. And for some reason, Crunchyroll is choosing the latter. This appeases the other streaming services, but creates a lot of extra work for Crunchyroll. They now have to pay people to convert every anime they want to sublicense, from Crunchyroll's superior subtitle format to that service's terrible subtitle standards. But what if there was another way? There are two easy ways to reduce labor costs. 1, remove the labor entirely, or 2, replace the laborer with a machine. That second one is foreshadowing. Crunchyroll realized that if they changed their subtitling standards to match the other streaming services, there would be no need to convert them and they could cut out a lot of labor. And that's exactly what they've started to do. But even in that context, this still seems like a monumentally stupid idea. Best viewed on Crunchyroll should be a pretty damn good way to maintain long-term growth while still getting the money from these sublicensing agreements. No, to fully explain why they're taking this path, we've got to do one of my favorite things and look at the historical context. Chapter 3. Crunchyroll versus Funimation. Crunchyroll started way back in 2006 as a piracy streaming site for all sorts of East Asian media, mostly fan-subbed anime, dramas, and music videos. If you've ever used one of these sites, they're mostly the same as today, riddled with dubious ads and a bit of jank. Just bring your ad blocker. But if you wanted to watch anime online, a site like this was one of your only options. Otherwise, you better hope you catch it on Toonami. This began to change in 2008 when Crunchyroll was able to obtain legal distribution licenses from Gonzo Studio. They still maintained their pirated material, but now those fan subs were right alongside legally licensed anime straight from the studio. This success opened the door for a $4 million round of venture capital funding, setting them on the path towards more licensing agreements. 1 year later, this came to fruition with a large licensing deal with TV Tokyo and an announcement that Crunchyroll was a pirate site no more. But now without fan subs, Crunchyroll had to make them all on their own, and find a way to present them. Luckily, Crunchyroll still had relationships with a bunch of fan subbers, so problem solved right there. Just hire them on, no issue. And this solution naturally leads to the other. In bringing on fan subbers, you also bring on the tools of the fan subbers trade. Aegisub became their workspace of choice, and Aegisub's native format naturally became their format. The name of that format is Advanced Substation Alpha, or ASS for short, which is truly perfect. Now, ASS is not natively able to run through a streaming site. Crunchyroll had to make a choice on whether to hard sub, which is just baking the subtitles into the video file itself, or soft sub and develop a way to present ASS subtitles in browser. While soft subbing was definitely the more complicated option, hard subbing would require Crunchyroll to store twice as many video files. After all, you don't want subs in your dubs. Closed captions are one thing, but the requirements for good dubs and good subs are different, and the lines will not match, leading to a bad viewer experience. So Crunchyroll went with soft subbing to save in the storage space. Unfortunately, they built the whole thing in Flash, so they had to rebuild it when Flash died. Good news though, moving to HTML5 actually made it better. So good in fact that Crunchyroll had to actually limit what you could do so that browsers could even handle it. This high quality streaming subtitle system is what they've used ever since, right up until they decided to ruin everything. This shows that up until now, Crunchyroll has been dedicated to high quality subs, putting a lot of time and money into them. So what changed? Well, in 2018, the same year that Flash began to die, Crunchyroll was acquired by Otter Media, while fellow anime distribution company Funimation was acquired by Sony. This ended their distribution partnership because Sony are too selfish to work with others. Then Otter Media was acquired by AT&T Warner Media in 2019, which you might think is why things went downhill, unless you know that in 2021, Sony bought Crunchyroll, capturing a very large chunk of the anime market, which is somehow not against antitrust laws. Turns out not much is actually against the law for the bourgeoisie if the state refuses to enforce it. Yay! Sony then consolidated Crunchyroll with Funimation, Wakanim, and Verve under the Crunchyroll brand, but with Funimation leadership in charge, likely due to seniority in Sony's corporate structure. Funimation leadership being put in charge of Crunchyroll is where this tale twists. Funimation was formed out of pure nepotism by the nephew of a producer at Toei, the company who owned the rights to Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball was enough all on its own to get an American anime distribution network off the ground. Funimation would expand from there until they too jumped into online streaming right after Crunchyroll went legit. Funimation's solution to browser-based subtitles is Telestream Mac Caption. Telestream is not nearly as powerful as Aegisub, and Funimation's use of the software was even more limited than that. Because of that, Funimation subs look like straight ass. At least just able to separate sign text from dialogue though, I guess. Originally, they were hard subbing these awful subs, which made the poor quality even funnier. Like, if you're hard subbing, you can actually do some really cool and impressive things with subtitles for moving text, but no, they just did less than the bare minimum. They only stopped hard subbing during their Crunchyroll partnership, just to fit in with the subs that were already found on Crunchyroll, although they still looked like ass. Funimation kept their new soft subbing standard as the partnership dissolved with the Sony acquisition, but their other standards deteriorated. Now they were no longer able to overlap text. Signs and dialogue had to share the same space, either at the top or the bottom of the screen, but never both. And why would they do that? Well, Funimation just got a sub-licensing deal with Hulu, and this new subtitle style just so happens to fit into their limited subtitle standards. Oh, where have we heard that before? That's not the only possible reason though, because around the same time, Funimation switched to a new cloud-based subtitling toolkit called Una, purely to make investors cream their jeans. Una is a very limited program and does not natively allow for overlapping subtitles. You have to futz with the settings a bit, and even then it won't necessarily work for all formats. If you're a company that doesn't exactly care about the quality of the subs, it's probably easier not to bother even if you could do it. And when those same people are put in charge of a company that's been doing the extra work to make high quality subs, and then convert said subtitles to match sub-licensing standards for other streaming services, what do you think they're gonna do? They give up and simplify their standards. So when Funimation and Crunchyroll were merged and Funimation leadership was left in charge, that's exactly what they did. Chapter 4. What can we do? So that's where we stand now. Crunchyroll, now controlled by Funimation leadership, is destroying its subtitles in order to remove labor costs and please investors, because they don't actually care about the art of subtitles or anime in general. They only care about the money these things bring. And they think that their hold on a large chunk of the market and on individual licenses means that we'll just take what they give us, no matter how shit it is, because where else are we going to get it? So that leaves us one pretty obvious way to fight back. We're going to threaten their money and show them that we aren't going to take it. These kind of changes don't happen immediately, so we have time to get them to stop. If you're currently subscribed to Crunchyroll, cancel that right now and tell them in the feedback form that's because of poor quality subtitles. Even link the article in the description to them. You could link this video, I suppose, but I'm a lot meaner than Dies, I think, so probably just link them the article instead. Make sure to share this info around. Make your own articles, videos, post on social media. Just make sure that Crunchyroll knows that you aren't going to fucking take them tearing down subtitles in the name of profits. Get Crunchyroll to make an explicit public commitment to maintaining subtitle quality before they get rid of any sort of typesetting for good. The executives think you won't put up too much of a fuss as they destroy your ability to enjoy anime. Prove them wrong. Chapter 5. What comes next? If we don't, much worse is coming down the pipeline. I actually left one little detail out about all of this, although I did foreshadow it. Downgrading subtitles like this makes it easier for localizers to be replaced with AI. And Rahul Parini, CEO of Crunchyroll, is very interested in AI and its potential to cut labor costs even more. Despite the fact that anime localization costs are essentially nothing, the capitalist class will do anything to take money from you to put in their coffers, even if it means replacing artists with prediction engines. Recently, we saw this happen with Amazon's anime licensing when they released an AI dub.
Damn it! Everyone's crowding into this tiny space. I need space to move. Skipper, no please! No, Skipper! Hey, stay with me.
You're still good enough as you are.
You piece of shit.
What?
I told you you're a piece of shit. Nothing but an overgrown fat pig.
They quickly took it down because the very public backlash to the dogshit awful dubbing actually forced the original owner of the license to step in. But do not doubt for a second that they will try again later and other companies will also try to get away with it. These companies are eager to replace human workers so they never have to pay you or anyone like you ever again. We have to let them know that there are lines they cannot cross without it hurting the only thing they care about, their bottom line. We've seen that we can make them turn tail and run by way of a public backlash. So let's stop them here before they ruin our subtitles instead of waiting for them to shove AI in as well. So please, cancel your Crunchyroll subscriptions and tell them exactly why you're doing it. Share the article in the description, make your own articles and videos, and let's stop them here before they permanently downgrade the anime watching experience for all of us. Thanks for watching. Hey there, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I've got a lot more for you if you want them. Just hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to get notifications. I'd also appreciate if you left me a like and a comment and maybe shared the video around with your friends. You can also follow me on all the usual social media sites. Just check out my website in the description below for more info. My videos are funded by my patrons, Ko-fi subscribers, and YouTube members, whose names you'll see scrolling by in these credits here. For just $1 a month, you too could find yourself here, trapped in my end screen for all eternity, among other benefits. In particular, I'd like to thank Jeremy Coatney, Frog Prince Michael, Fleakill, Haru Hayes, the Almighty Ferret Lord, Fire Mizumi, Beastman, Bryn, and Beelzis. A big thanks to all my patrons and to my little community as a whole. Remember to be kind to yourselves, be kind to others, and have a wonderful whatever time it is for you. Bye-bye.